Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the another installment of the Pride of the North Sports with your host, me, Daredevil. We're going to talk about three different topics today. First, Lions draft grades. Second, draft recap. Third, trades. And the third round through undrafted free agency. First topic I want to talk about is the draft recap and what the Lions did in the draft to make their team better and improved certain positions that they really needed to improve and to make it a more solid roster, a more competitive roster than the one they already have. So they moved down from 6th to 12th, right? And pick up Gibbs, the running back from Alabama, which we all, and me included, were like, no, what are you doing? You need defense. Okay? And it wasn't until the third day when we found out that they were really interested in shipping Shift off to another NFL franchise. We heard the rumors. They were just lukewarm rumors with Shift being shipped out, but they ended up being quite the rumors because he did end up getting shipped off to the Eagles franchise, and now that pick actually looks a lot better than with Gibbs than we first saw or thought, and even, well, in my opinion. So it was a great pick now. I think actually you could actually up that grade a little bit now. And then for the second move that was really unique was the Brian Branch, the safety / corner out of Alabama, which was a unique and really intriguing and great move that the Lions did, that Holmes did to aggressively upgrade that secondary. And that secondary is mightily improved, we all know, but he improved it quite a bit more with the pick moving up and picking Branch. This kid can do quite a bit of things. He was his project as a first rounder and ended up going in I believe, the second round, late second round. So you got 3 first rounders in the draft, and most analysts are giving the Detroit Lions a fail on Campbell and Gibbs, which their first rounders, maybe Campbell could have been a late or early second rounder, but he ended up being the 18th pick overall to the Lions, which I have no problems with as long as he performs. But the two I really, really like was the Branch move to come up and get him, and the Campbell draft, or the Lions drafting him. And then actually you could throw in a third one with Sam Laporta in there, or Laporta, I think. So I think those 3 moves really improve this Lions roster and give weapons on defense, and then give more weapons to Golf so he can be an even more efficient quarterback in the end. With Hooker in the third round, I'm still going to give that a C minus, because you really could have probably jumped up and got Levis out of Kentucky. I like Levis over Hooker. Age, mechanics, tape, knows the game, a lot better, can scan the field a lot better. I just like him as an overall uh, player at QB, and he's a first rounder too. He's a first round quarterback, and Hooker isn't. Levis was or is a younger Hooker, basically, in my mind. So why not go and get him? I don't know. We'll never know. But I think the Lions did do a great job, getting Swift to the team that wants him, getting a draft pick for next year from the Eagles in the 4th round. So that already gives you some draft capital for next year. And you empty the backfield. What I guess I'm trying to say is you're getting rid of the Quinn Air player, which I still love Swift. He's gonna be a great player for the Eagles. It just, I think it was time to move on from him, basically. It was just time. But in my recap, I think the Lions did a really good job with drafting who they wanted, identifying who they wanted, and upgrading their roster and improving their chances in the North. And in even the NFC conference itself, to be honest with you. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about my grade later, but we're going to move on to... we're going to move on to the Lions draft grades next. So now I want to take a look at the trades in more depth and the 3rd round through undrafted free agency and what their moves were for the Lions there. So we had a Swift trade that sent Swift to the Eagles franchise, as we know. But what did we get back? We didn't get a player back for him, of course. At least to be named later, basically. How they do it in baseball. So we send Swift to the Eagles. And what we received was a 4th rounder in next year's 2024 NFL draft. Here in our beloved Detroit Motor City. We're going to rock it, of course, us Detroiters. We love our city, don't we? Mainly our Lions. So, but we get a 4th rounder from Philadelphia. We ship off a 7th rounder. And if I'm not mistaken, we actually get another 7th rounder, an earlier 7th rounder from the Eagles too. So they get a Swift. We send the last pick of the 7th round to Philadelphia. And what we get back is a 4th rounder in the 2024 draft and the Eagles this year's earlier 7th round pick. So we get 2 draft picks for a player and a draft pick being shipped off to the great city of Philadelphia. So, in my opinion, it was a win-win situation for both Swift, the Lions, and the Eagles. So, I think we won there. And then in the 3rd round, through the undrafted free agency, I think the Lions did a pretty good job at finding some gems to fill out the roster, to compete, and maybe eventually be starters. I like that kid out of North Carolina, the wide receiver. He's not polished, but I think he will be a really good, solid wide receiver for Detroit. He needs to be polished, needs some work on his route running. He's needs to attack the ball a little bit more at the point of attack. Try not to catch the ball with his body, but that stuff is all coachable. And I think Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson will do a good job, and also the wide receiver coach will do a good job to show him what not to do and what to do. And you got Amon-Ra St. Brown and my main man Jones Sr. are going to show him the right way to be a wide receiver. He's coming into a great wide receiver room, and it's a good environment for the youngster. So, but let's move on and check out the Lions draft grades that I gave them. Okay, my way too early draft grade for this class of 2023. In my opinion, this draft class is fast, versatile, hard-hitting, and it fills a lot of needs that the Lions were hoping, and they got, well, let's not say hope, because this is not the same old Lions. Holmes is not Quinn or Matt Millen or any of the old GMs. He knows what he's doing. I know we questioned a few of the draft picks early on, but we found out what the plan was, and so I'm at ease with a lot of the Holmes picks, except for one. Hooker was the one that I was itching my head, because you could have gone up just a couple spots and got Levis, but that's okay. So, in saying that, my way too early draft grade for this year's 2023 class is about an A plus or A minus B plus. So I'm going to go with an A minus B plus in there, because I like a lot of the moves, and I think they're headed in the right direction. Fill a lot of needs. Got a lot of starters also in this year's draft. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this installment of the Pride of the North Sports with your host, me, Daredevil. Please subscribe and like the channel if you do like the channel. Comment, it also helps, but subscribing and liking will help put out more videos so you guys can enjoy more content about the Lions. Have a good afternoon. See you soon.